internal use. And Gene will go ahead and begin recording now. All right, that takes care of everything. Let's go ahead and begin. So thanks again for joining our session today on collaborating in Office 365. My name is Dennis Helms, and I'm the Collaboration Practice Lead here at COMPAREX USA. A little bit about me. I have an extensive background with COMPAREX and working with our clients in developing business productivity using the cloud, whether it's leading trading efforts or client awareness, adoption, solution design, campaigns, consulting, pretty much anything when it comes to collaboration within COMPAREX in the U.S. I'm involved in that. And with organizations of all size and types in promoting best practices methodology using Office 365. So my role and my focus is on working with clients on implementing the right collaboration processes and tools so their organizations will be as successful as possible in truly meeting their business objectives. A bit about us as to provide some background into our organization for those who may not be familiar. We are a global IT and license solutions provider, all in one. Specializing in sourcing, consulting, and cloud-based professional services. We're the 6th largest Microsoft partner in the world. Our primary objective is to work with our customers to reduce risk, cost, and complexity for their IT solutions. We have a track record spanning over 30 years of COMPAREX serving corporations, small businesses, public sector entities, universities, schools, and nonprofits. The COMPAREX group employs over 2,000 people on around 80 sites spread over 31 countries across the Americas, Europe, Asia, and Africa. We have an extensive set of offerings and capabilities at COMPAREX. Above is an overview of some of those that we're able to assist with in developing your projects, including messaging through Microsoft Exchange, collaboration in the cloud using Office 365, including SharePoint, TeamSites, Yammer, and OneDrive, single sign-on solutions for assistance in the management of identities and increased security around authentication, SoftCare, which is our licensing and procurement managed service, Windows Azure, which includes disaster recovery and security services, as well as Azure Rights Management for data security, and we also have higher ed solutions that are specific to that vertical. We're also received plenty of Microsoft Partner of the Year awards this year. I think there were a total of 6 or 7, but notably volume licensing, and we got an award for our software asset management platform, which is pretty awesome. That's a pretty populated field of competitors in there, and Microsoft recognizes COMPAREX as a leader. So that's really, really awesome. We also have a large and diverse set of clients and are very pleased to work with the organizations of all sizes across the globe, including some well-known ones that you might see from this list. But today we're going to talk about collaboration in the cloud. But first, I think it's necessary to be on the same page as to what collaboration is. It's a pretty broad term. So if you ask 10 people what collaboration is, you'll probably get 10 different answers. I believe the best and simplest definition is that collaboration is when 2 or more people work together to accomplish a common goal. I like this explanation because it relates the 3 important components of collaboration for the enterprise. People, because without people, collaboration would be meaningless. They're working together, such as in they're using tools to do so effectively, and a common goal in that of accomplishing business objectives. Having said that, and before we look into the future, it makes sense to take a quick look back because collaboration really isn't a new concept. It's the means that we have changed and improved over time. In other words, the tools and technology we use to collaborate are more advanced. Again, collaboration has evolved significantly through the ages. These images showcase some of our finest moments through the advancement of collaboration technology. It's obvious that we certainly have streamlined our modes of collaborating and communicating, and that we've come a very long way. What we used to compose on typewriters or store in folders within filing cabinets, we now take care of completely electronically. Consider that not long ago you'd find us writing, printing, folding, stuffing, stamping, and mailing. But now we simply compose and click send to engage and share with others instantly. Furthermore, meetings used to mean gathering around a boardroom and taking notes while someone presented a workshop. Now you can join a webcast like this one to access information that has direct impact on your job. Things have certainly changed. We're all part of a giant network now, hyper-connected. Not only do we have endless opportunities to connect, we have an ever-growing number of ways to connect. We are part of workforces that are more geographically dispersed, yet we work even faster and more efficiently despite our physical separation. Our networks are many, and now a part of our private lives too. We're part of social networks, networking networks, internal networks, external networks, and we join them to reach out to discover people, interests, opportunities, and information. Yeah, our technology has changed, but more importantly, our standards have changed. What we expect now from our network is usefulness. We want a way to connect that is meaningful so that we can make the most of our resources, knowledge, time, and tools, and with the experience that's pleasing and aesthetically sound. So we have more flexibility and freedom to work anywhere, thanks to all this technology, but now the challenge becomes finding the signal in the noise. How do we stay focused on our goals? How do teams organize their work? How do we keep track of all the pieces in our projects? And how do we streamline the process of getting everyone on the same page and using the same tools? We have to think about reshaping the way our teams work together to make it more productive and more powerful. Work groups come together to tackle projects or assignments, and they need the ability to make files accessible to folks from anywhere, whether on the road or working remotely. Assign tasks, track progress, share appointments, notes, and updates in a way that's responsive and that works. Conduct meetings online in small groups or collectively from anywhere, anytime, efficiently and with ease. And organize all of our content collectively, centrally, and in a shared workspace that can be accessed when you need it, regardless of where you are. On-premise environments simply don't meet the contemporary team needs. When not provided or trained in the effective use of modern productivity tools, people find their own methods to meet their needs. We find that email often becomes the primary document management system. We find that we rely on distribution groups to organize a group of people, but we lack the flexibility to extend that beyond our email client. And the process of accessing resources outside the office can actually be a barrier, preventing you from being able to work on your terms. Your email client isn't the solution. And honestly, social media isn't the solution either. What you need are shared team workspaces and tools that are always available online, where you'll have the freedom to build out the apps you need and to share and collaborate on all kinds of projects. It would also be nice to get everything you need in one platform and one that you can trust to be sound and experience improvements over time, a sustainable solution. I'm talking about Office 365. So we've talked about how collaboration has evolved and pointed out a couple of pain points, particularly in the typical on-premise setup. Now let's talk about how Office 365 can address these issues, the benefits of using it, and how those features will innovate and enhance your day-to-day life. Keep in mind that all of the capabilities and features that I'm about to share with you are available immediately, right out of the box. With Office 365, you're building a more connected, informed, and engaged workforce. Using the features we're about to discuss, you can move past some of the pain points that we have when relying on email or face-to-face interaction. Office 365 offers your team the ability to work together, knowing that all users in your organization have access to the same tools. They have the freedom to work anywhere, anytime, and on any device or PC. So anything you do in the office, you can now do on the go. You can reach one another instantly through Link and Yammer and begin interacting in real time. From your own device, you'll be able to get access to everything, same access you traditionally only had when you were in the office. And you can sync your files and settings so that your experience is consistent across all of these devices and locations. Office 365 invests in state-of-the-art security and recovery technology to ensure that your files and messages are secure, your data is safe, and you are always able to access and work with your information. And you never have to wait for tools or solutions to be deployed to you. You'll get the latest releases as soon as they become available. And that's a huge point because in the past, especially with collaboration tools like SharePoint on-prem, whether using SharePoint 2007, 2010, or 2013, upgrading and adding functionality to it was really the responsibility of the IT department and to be done in an on-prem fashion. But with Office 365, all that is automatic. So within Office 365, you're really leveling the playing field. Again, everyone has access to the same resources and tools, whether they're on the road or in the office. Tools that are well integrated and work together throughout Office 365, Office 2013, and across much of the Microsoft stack. Though Office 365 does have a host of new tools and features that facilitate collaboration like never before, it's important to note that it also includes greater functionality and accessibility using the same tools we already use to get the job done. Consider that your email calendar, contacts, and tasks are those tools that allow collaboration to happen, as these tools keep us connected to people, events, and work that we need every day, all day. Access is fast and easy online or using the mobile app for the Outlook web app, also called OWA. It can use the portal to gain access and engage with these tried and trusted tools, but OWA also provides access to all the other collaboration tools and features we use to work as teams, including Link, OneDrive, and Link, by the way, is now really kind of changed. I call it Link all the time because that's what I'm used to, but it's changed to Skype for Business. So I'll use those terms somewhat interchangeably throughout the webinar. OneDrive, Groups, Yammer, Office Online, Team Sites, Delve, and a lot more. Keep in mind that everything we covered today is also available as a mobile app on almost any device. Microsoft has gone platform agnostic and made Office 365 available on nearly all platforms, including Apple, Mac, and iOS devices. I myself use a Samsung Note 5, and I've got Outlook, and I've got Skype for Business, OneDrive for Business, and my personal OneDrive are both accessible as well, all from my Samsung Note 5. So it really truly is platform agnostic. A prerequisite of collaboration is connectivity. This is where Link comes in. There are many enterprise chat and meeting applications out there that used together allow users to chat one-on-one, one-to-many, or start video conferencing and present online to large internal or external groups. Link, however, offers you one tool to do all of those things and more. It's also integrated with the rest of Office, allowing really fast and easy access to share and see colleagues' online presence to know their availability, to do instant messaging, place VoIP phone calls, hold instant or scheduled online meetings, and have video conferences. You can also take turns screen sharing and whiteboarding with teams instantly. It's simple to go from a conversation to a meeting where you're sharing documents and video at the click of a button, and you can decide what level of engagement you need on the fly. This is possible because Link is so well and deeply integrated with the rest of Office 365 and Office 2013. Using Link, you can also organize your contacts, place people into groups, pin people as favorite contacts, and view conversation history in Link or in your Outlook. Link now has the ability to keep a tabbed view of all your conversations, thus reducing desktop clutter by combining multiple windows into one. The video conferencing features are really powerful. You can place and preview your video calls, and the gallery view within Link provides the ability to hold a meeting and see everyone on the online conference. Whether a person is speaking, or when a person is speaking, their image or video is brought into focus. This is great for remote teams and really helps you to feel more connected during meetings. In addition, the Link apps for iOS and Android make it even easier to join meetings from any device. Your smartphone or tablet has the capability to engage using all of these features. I actually use Link pretty frequently when on the road for my laptop and my phone, as well as my Surface Pro 3 tablet. In fact, here at COMPAREX, we use Link all the time to conduct meetings, scheduled or on the fly. Our people are spread out globally, yet despite this, we're very hyper-connected. It's also really simple to host a meeting and control your meeting settings. You can mute your audience, record the session, use a shared OneNote notebook to co-edit, or use the very simple whiteboard tool to share sketches or mark up a document all together. Then there's Yammer. Yammer offers another type of collaboration by providing organizations an enterprise social network to help us keep us connected. With Yammer, you're able to use your group feeds to tune into conversations that matter, stay up to date on the latest news, create and join groups dedicated to any purpose, follow colleagues and subject matter experts, start conversations that are threaded, searchable, and accessible in the future, work with your email, team sites, OneDrive, and mobile device. The goal is for organizations to listen, adapt, and grow in new ways by enabling them to work more like a network. Yammer does this very well. On Yammer, I can choose to collaborate with the entire organization or spin up dedicated groups to work more closely together on any project. In fact, groups can be created around any concept where needed, whether it's around tasks, projects, programs, departments, or any other need for that matter. When I pull up Yammer from Office 365, I can see the news feed for my entire organization right away, or any group that I'm a member of. To get important updates from people I work with on projects, programs I'm a part of, or general company news. Just recently, for instance, we all learned of a colleague's new addition to their family via Yammer, which was really, really neat. Yammer is a great alternative to email to share information such as this. Consider also that some of our very best ideas stem from spontaneous conversations and sometimes the people that you'd never expect. Yammer can facilitate this because it's designed for open communication, where people work in the open, but conversations can also happen privately where they need to. This way, everyone benefits from shared information. It's also a neat concept, the concept of ideation, which is kind of a grassroots buildup of information that gains traction socially at first, and then eventually can spin up into a product or a service within your organization. If your organization uses email heavily for communication, then Yammer is a great option for this switch into an open communication platform. Let's talk OneDrive for Business. OneDrive is online storage for organizations and is part of Office 365. It's a place where employees can store, sync, and securely share their work files across multiple devices and access them from anywhere, anytime, and with ease. OneDrive for Business lets people collaborate on documents, share reports with partners, and connect with customers from virtually any device. Instead of storing multiple versions of your files on hard drives or thumb drives or in email conversations, you can store important content in the cloud so you can get access to it anytime, anywhere, and again, on any device. You can even choose to enable access to others so they may work on the same file simultaneously, with or without you, and you can set alerts so you can get notifications when changes are made to your documents. Note that you can keep track of everyone's changes in real time or through nifty versioning controls, and you don't have to be at your desk either. In fact, you can engage with your OneDrive files whether you're online or offline. It's important to share that OneDrive for Business is an enterprise-grade solution that includes security, management, compliance, and administrative capabilities. Being part of Office 365, we meet the highest industry regulations, such as that of HIPAA and EU model clauses, amongst others, and offers e-discovery for regulatory needs. Another great feature of OneDrive for Business is its search capability. It's smarter with the type of head features that you find that help you find a document, whether it's your own or one that might have been shared with you by someone else or one that you tucked away several folders deep somewhere. It doesn't matter. You can find and access content faster than ever before. You can also perform various actions from search, like sharing search for files directly from the search results. If this isn't enough, note that every one of your users gets unlimited personal document storage to store files of all types online and to access them from anywhere with a PC, tablet, iPhone, or Android device. Now you can share documents efficiently to keep everyone in sync. All files are private by default, but can be shared inside or outside your organization so others can edit or review in real time, even if it's simultaneously, together using co-authoring. When you share using OneDrive, others can only have access to the file or folder that you share and cannot tamper with or even see any of the other documents in your OneDrive. And then there's SharePoint Team Sites. So SharePoint Team Sites offers the ultimate collaboration tool set. Here you have the ability to build team sites for project and collaboration work, but you can also design and build a SharePoint site that serves as a central hub or intranet portal for your organization as well. Using team sites, you can create a dedicated web-based site for any need that requires a common digital space for people to access, share, converse, work, and collaborate easily. SharePoint offers a powerful, supportive suite of tools built for collaboration and for driving business processes. You have built-in document management capabilities so you can organize your content intuitively to replace file shares or folders. Document libraries in SharePoint offer version control, the ability to co-author, set up, check in, and check out to control access to documents, or to organize your documents in folders, and even when more advanced content strategies, such as use of metadata. I will point out one difference between SharePoint and OneDrive for Business is that with SharePoint, storing stuff in document libraries is really a central sharing location for a group of people that are trying to share those documents around a common goal. So for instance, if you were to share documents in the HR group for publication of those documents and drafting of those documents, as opposed to OneDrive for Business, which would include your personal business files that you're working on that you might collaborate with, one or two people and leveraging the sharing capability. So that's the difference between the two. In the background, from a technical perspective, they're pretty much the same thing. So there's a larger suite of built-in apps in SharePoint that provide content management features as well. You can manage calendars, contact lists, task lists, that's tough to say, and post updates via announcement lists, just to name a few. In addition, you can easily build out custom apps to meet your own data management needs. Each app serves as a built-in application for managing and creating data. In addition to this, the built-in apps, there are tons of other apps available in the SharePoint store that can help you extend the functionality to give you whatever you need. Beyond document management capabilities, you'll find that SharePoint Online offers a capability to manage your work using project sites, or taking a step further by extending your Office 365 with Project Online. Project management in team sites gives you the ability to keep track of your team's work and report on the data to keep better tabs on your progress. In addition to tracking progress, you can also route and deliver tasks to your users using workflows. Workflows are business automation, and that you can build your own custom workflows or use some of the ones that are given out of the box to automate a process. The simplest example is content approval. For instance, when someone uploads a document, the workflow is watching that library and kicks off, sending document notifications and assigning a task for one of your users to approve the document. Workflows offer the ability to build out a process within your SharePoint apps and sites, and the workflow actions can be simple or complex. Finally, it's important to note that you can extend the security features built into Office 365 and SharePoint and leverage information rights management, or IRM. IRM encrypts file downloads from SharePoint Online and limits the set of users and programs that are allowed to decrypt these files. IRM can also limit the rights of users who are allowed to read these files. We also have Delve. Delve is one of the latest features to be released in Office 365, and it's what Microsoft is calling a next-gen portal. These are ready-to-go user experiences delivering personalized, relevant information to users. Delve surfaces personalized content to you from across all of Office 365. It pulls information from places like SharePoint and OneDrive to show you information based on what you're working on and what's trending around you. The goal of Delve is to help you quickly get to the information that you need to by providing these intuitive views such as My Work and Shared with Me. You can easily find documents you viewed before without remembering the document title, who wrote it, or where it's stored. With Delve, you can just type in a colleague's name to see what they're working on and what's trending around them. Well, if you have permissions, of course. The point is, it makes connecting with others, building relationships, and sharing information easier than ever. Now that we've painted a picture of what's possible using Office 365, let's look at some insights, some actual user stories that illustrate more clearly how Office 365 can really change the way that you work. Let's talk about some real users and highlight their challenges, needs, and wants. Let's see how Office 365 collaboration solutions can address them. I think it's helpful to talk about real users. So we've profiled 3 users from our own organization. We'll talk about Susan, who's a project manager, Gabe, who's a sales team leader, and Sally, who's a member of the marketing team. And we'll use them as examples throughout these scenarios. So Susan sees an email from Sally that inspires her to pick up the phone and call her. She hopes Sally is at her desk. There's no answer, and she gets her voicemail. The matter is somewhat urgent, so Susan wonders if Sally is in the office at all. Being a typical workday, she should be, but perhaps there's a calendar that Susan can check to see if Sally is here or not today. After checking, it turns out Sally should be in the office. She hasn't requested any time off. Susan decides to walk over to check, but no one's in Sally's seat. There's a bag on the desk, though, indicating that she might be here. Susan asks Sally's office neighbors if Sally is here. Someone says they may have seen her pass by, but they're unsure. As you can see, this is cumbersome and very familiar. So far, we've gotten nowhere. Now, using Office 365 and reaches out. It states Sally is in the training room for the morning, but available via link. Everyone across the organization can see that Sally is available in link. With one click from the same hover over her name or photo, Susan can I am Sally, or Susan can click to open link, which is pinned on her taskbar. Link by default opens to a list of her favorite contacts and their information and their presence. So from here, she simply clicks the I am bubble under her profile to instantly I am. The important elements here are that Sally's location is not a condition anymore of her contacting Sally. Sally could be home, she could be traveling using her PC or laptop, or the Link mobile app. She could be on a plane. With Link, we are more aware of our colleagues, their status, and can connect with them with a single click. Link is so well integrated that you don't even have to open it. In most places, you can just it can interact with the applications automatically integrated and connect with others from email, OneDrive, SharePoint, Team Sites, and so many other ways. So another example would be project management. So project management can be really streamlined in Office 365, and this is something our team has really benefited from. In the past, Susan would email her project team a Microsoft project plan. Every time a change or update is made, a new file is emailed to them via a distribution group, or perhaps a new version was posted to Basecamp. Either way, there was an extra step for Susan every single time the project plan needed to be shared. Keep in mind, too, when these project files or any other files are actually emailed, a new version is created. So if there's any versioning that's being tracked or kept up with, you're creating a new version every time you email it. By leveraging SharePoint Online, Susan can build out her project plan in Microsoft Project and publish it to a SharePoint Online project site. Now all team members have instant access to updates she makes. Our team can even update project tasks as they are completed by updating them in the SharePoint site. Alerts can be set too, so emails and or texts can be sent when changes are made. Clients can even have access to see the latest updates on the project site at any time, and we leverage a Yammer feed to share the updates and interact with one another, all in the same space. Yammer is integrated with SharePoint team sites. One other thing I'll point out here is that when updates are being done on the SharePoint side, the people who are doing those updates or seeing Susan's project updates don't need project to be able to do that. So you don't have to have a license for project for each of those folks. All the files he thinks he needs, now that he'll have access to reports that he can work with while he's sitting on a flight. Using Office 365, instead of taking the extra time to pick and choose which files he might need, now Gabe simply accesses his files from OneDrive, makes edits, and syncs his changes when he's online. He can access any file anytime. He can even edit a report while sitting on the flight, saving his changes and syncing those back to the cloud when he's back online later. Work online or offline on virtually any device. So Gabe stores several draft proposals on his local machine and emails out the final version when complete as an attachment. Gabe has a working document stored in OneDrive that he edits. He simply clicks Share and selects to give edit rights to send a link to his colleagues to review before they send it to the client. With version control, he can access all of his colleagues' modifications without saving multiple files, and all from the original without creating copies or sending cumbersome documents through email. Now Gabe can send the finalized proposal using the same link, but as read-only. So last real-world example. Gabe emails Susan again after a few days later to check and see if she has reviewed it. That's one way to do it, but it's not very efficient. Here are a couple scenarios that could accomplish the same goal in a more dynamic way. So using Yammer, Gabe could post the final proposal to a group he set up. Everyone in that group would receive a notification, and they could provide feedback and or edits in real time. Yammer works with Outlook, so notifications are sent on activity in your groups. He could also use SharePoint, and he can even design an entire business process and automate it for that matter. So whenever Gabe uploads the proposal to a document library, custom approval workflow would kick off and route it to the approvers, gathering approval and rerouting as necessary. In the end, a final handoff directly to the client could even be completely automated just by designing a workflow process in your SharePoint team site. The nice thing about collaboration in the cloud is that it really helps us to be more productive. Instead of having to remember to check on something via email or try calling someone again, or even having to keep track of multiple file versions, you're saving yourself time and freeing up some mental space to do more. Office 365 is significant in my work life and it helps me work smarter for sure. So we've covered a lot of ground today, and I know it can all be a little bit overwhelming, but that's why choosing the right cloud integrator is as important as choosing the right cloud solution. Because there's definitely a difference between cloud motivated and cloud ready. That's how COMPAREX can help. We've had the privilege of completing over 300 migrations in Office 365 and Azure across the United States and around the globe. This work has included Microsoft's largest Google Apps to Office 365 migration with the University of Phoenix, which included over 330,000 users. However, our work extends beyond Exchange and Google. We'll migrate your system from email clients like Lotus Notes, GroupWise, and IMAP. Basically, if you've heard of it, we've done it. Now I'd like to provide you with some insight into our process, how COMPAREX partners with an organization to provide a smooth transition to Office 365. Through strategic planning, helping with governance and operational management, support for establishing adoption, and and dedication to providing outstanding user experiences, our process facilitates success because it addresses not only successfully implementing tools, but focuses on the vision we establish early on in what we want to achieve and the outcomes we want to establish when the project is complete. Note that these services are available at a flat fee price per seat, priced very similarly to the way Microsoft prices Office 365. One of the reasons we've been so effective in helping so many clients is because we put our combined years of expertise into a specific project management style that guarantees client success. We use our own methodical approach that's proven over and over again. From customized project plans to weekly status calls to post-project support, your success is our top priority from start to finish. We also work closely with our clients to ensure success and drive adoption. More importantly, we work closely with you to develop a plan for success, whether it's an awareness campaign before launch, the launch strategy itself, which should include training and end-user adoption strategies. Once you've implemented Office 365, we support the knowledge portals, webinar training, and customized training if needed. Our adoption specialists help to identify your objectives based on user challenges and strengths, as well as who your change advocates are, the users who will leverage the champion collaboration tools. So adoption really, quite honestly, is the key indicator to success, because in most cases, the technical migration can be done, fairly easily. The technical aspect is not the blockade anymore. It's really user adoption after they've been presented with the solution, especially if they're migrating from something like Lotus Notes that has a very, very dedicated user base. So finally, our Unified Cloud Management, or UCM, for collaboration is a comprehensive suite of professional services designed to assist in the architecture, implementation, support, and optimization of Microsoft SharePoint, Yammer, and OneDrive. Proprietary and proven methodologies for successful transition and adoption of Microsoft Cloud technologies perfected it with over 350 migrations. Ongoing cycle that never stops improving the customer investment in the cloud, and dedicated resources to the customer like our cloud architects, support team, and technical account managers. So this is, our UCM is billed at a flat fee on a monthly basis. And it also, one thing I want to point out there under bullet point 3 is it includes 20 hours a month of SharePoint, Yammer, OneDrive support and consulting. And that's not with a secondary support team, that's with our primary SPEs, the folks who lead our projects. A lot of clients like to use that to build things like an enhancement list that our delivery team will work on over a month-to-month basis to do things, I would say, that are smaller than a breadbasket, so to speak. Things like adding workflows or tidying up or doing anything that a SharePoint developer or designer might do. And this is really to keep you from having to extend your IT staff into SharePoint specialized services. So that's the primary point around this. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and jump into some Q&A. It looks like we have roughly about 20 minutes left. So if anyone has any questions, please go ahead and type them into the chat box. All right, looks like we have a question. Is there a storage limit in sites? And I think we're talking about team sites. And yes, there is. And it's basically per user. And I believe it's 50 gigs per user. So if you subscribe and have 100 users, then you would have basically 5 terabytes of storage. So it's really scaled for how many subscriptions that you have. Okay. Any other questions? All right, looks like we have another question. Is Yammer replacing Newsfeed soon? I would say no from a roadmap perspective. I don't believe so. I think Yammer is a bit of a separate thing. Now, I will say that they are going through, supposed to be by the end of the year, doing a tighter integration between Yammer and SharePoint, whereby if you're logged into Office 365 and SharePoint, and there is a Yammer function on that particular site that you're on, that you don't have to log into it again, because right now that is an integration point, and they are smoothing that out. Any other questions? All right, so looks like there's one more question. So difference between SKUs for Office 365 and their limitations. So I would say the primary difference between E3 and the other SKUs would be that E3 does include records management, which would be regulatory document retention policies, things of that nature, e-discovery, also anything BCS related, which is the business connectivity services, which basically is SharePoint's ability to connect to an external data source to be able to pull that information in and create external lists, with other systems being the source of record. That's all E3 capability. So if you're integrating with anything line of business or you're doing anything regulatory, you definitely be looking at an E3 versus an E1 or a business, which is the replacement for the E2. E5 will include everything that E4 has, but E5, it really is the telephony extension, and has the capability to do the VoIP services with Link or Skype for Business. So Microsoft's taking that on, where right now you have to actually leverage a partner to do that. All right, any other questions? Is there a replacement for InfoPath? That's a great question. So yeah, Microsoft is kind of deprecating InfoPath and has over time. They announced that before 2013. So a direct replacement, No. However, whenever anybody's talking about, extensions of workflow and extensions of forms, which is what InfoPath really is and goes hand in hand with work productivity and business process automation, I usually recommend Nintex as an add-on product. So Nintex has both forms and workflow, and the forms are actually really, really easy to build. So are the workflows. You can actually power users can really leverage and use those capabilities because the designer is right within SharePoint and Office. So you can go through and build those workflows and forms and publish them. The other thing that's nice too is that I believe for on-prem installations, they also offer cloud-based form service that can be translated to any device as well. So you can go in and with one click format a device for a device. So if you want to properly display something on an iPhone or an iPad or something like that, you can do so with one click with their Forms product. Beyond that, you're really looking at design customizations to some of the out-of-the-box add item, new item, edit item, ASPX files that is provided right out of the box with SharePoint. So as Gene stated there, we have some time for some more questions. I'd be happy to answer them. I probably went through this webinar a little quick for everyone because we've been adding more and more content, and we've been trying to be respectful of everyone's time and keep it within the hour, including questions. So I apologize if it seems a little bit rushed, but I was just trying to make sure that we had enough time to answer everybody's questions at the end. All right, well, I don't think we have any more questions. So before we wrap up, let me just go through and mention a couple of final things. So we have some more upcoming webinars. On October 1st, Infrastructure as a Service with Microsoft Azure. And keep in mind too, just to loop back and from an Azure SharePoint perspective, we can do a hybrid environment as well, and that's pretty popular. And when Microsoft this year, announced at Ignite SharePoint 2016, it's really in the support of the hybrid environment whereby if you have an on-prem SharePoint installation and you've done a lot of customizations or a lot of line of business integration apps or back office integration with things like SAP or PeopleSoft or whatever like that, where you need to keep an on-prem installation, you can still move some of those workloads for collaboration, especially into the cloud, and do it in a hybrid way. And likewise, you can take the on-prem installation and you can put it into Azure using the same bits, and you basically get the same capability as your on-prem installation, only with reducing the footprint in your data center. So that's something to keep in mind too. So if you're interested in that, that webinar on 10.1 would be a good one to come to. So especially if this is your first webinar with us, please give us some feedback in the survey that pops up after you leave the webinar too. I just wanted to kind of throw that out there. So a couple other ones: Unlocking the Mystery of Microsoft Volume Licensing, cloud messaging. So if you want to kind of lead with your move to the cloud by migrating your email, the one on 10.15 would be a good one to go to, and then cloud security and disaster recovery with Azure on 10.29. So again, our calendar is available there at the bottom at comparexusa.com/events/list. And I thank you guys really from the bottom of my heart for attending this webinar. I really enjoy doing these. I really enjoy helping customers find solutions to their collaboration issues. So feel free to join one of these webinars, and I'll be presenting again next month, and would love for you guys to join again. Have a great week.